Hi, boys and girls. Mr. K here with another writing challenge of the week. As you may have heard, during this time, one of the safest and healthiest things we can do is to wash our hands. You may have also heard that we want to wash our hands for at least 20 seconds. Some people say you can sing the ABCs or happy birthday while you're washing your hands so you know that you've washed them long enough. My challenge for this week is to come up with a poem that you can recite or say while you're washing your hands so you know that you've washed them long enough. In order to complete this challenge, though, we need to talk a little bit about poetry. First, let's go over some of the elements of poetry. These are the features of poetry. Poetry is very unique compared to some of the other genres of writing. Poetry has 4 elements that we are going to talk about today. They are lines, stanzas, rhythm, and rhyme. Now, these are just 4 elements of poetry. There are more, but these are the only 4 that I want you to focus on for this writing challenge. The first 2 are lines and stanzas. Now, unlike most writing that's organized into sentences and paragraphs, a poem is organized into lines and stanzas. A line is a group of words that form one row, and a stanza is a group of those lines. All right. The other thing that's very unique to poetry is that many poems have rhythm and rhyme. The rhythm is the beat of a poem that makes it sound almost like a song, something you could clap your hands to or tap your feet. A poem also has rhyme, or words that end with the same sound. The rhyme in these poems usually come at the end of lines. Okay, let's take a look at 2 different poems and their lines, stanzas, rhythm, and rhyme. The first poem we're going to take a look at is Be Glad Your Nose is on Your Face by Jack Palutsky. If you notice, the poem is organized into lines, and those lines are grouped together in stanzas. We have 1, 2, 3 stanzas with 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in each stanza, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lines in all. As I read, listen to the rhythm and rhyme. Be glad your nose is on your face, not pasted on some other place. For if it were where it is not, you might dislike your nose a lot. Imagine if your precious nose were sandwiched in between your toes. That clearly would not be a treat, for you'd be forced to smell your feet. Your nose would be a source of dread, were it attached atop your head. It soon would drive you to despair, forever tickled by your hair. So as we're listening to that poem, we can hear a rhythm, a beat that we can clap our hands or tap our feet to. If you want to go back and listen to it, try clapping your hands or tapping your feet. You'll also notice at the end of lines, we have rhyming words. In the first stanza, the first line and the second line rhyme. We have face and place at the end of the lines. Then we have not and lot, nose and toes, and so on. The rhyming pattern in this poem is that every line rhymes with the next line. So we have face and place, then we switch to not and lot, then we switch to nose and toes, and then treat and feet. We would call that an AABB rhyme pattern. All right, and that was Be Glad Your Nose is on Your Face by Jack Palutsky. The next poem is The Little Turtle. If you notice, it is also broken up into lines and stanzas. There will also be a rhyme pattern in this poem as well as a rhythm. The one thing that will be different, though, is our rhyme pattern is going to be slightly different. All right, let's read it together. The Little Turtle by Vachel Lindsay. There was a little turtle, he lived in a box. He swam in a puddle, he climbed on the rocks. He snapped at a mosquito, he snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow, and he snapped at me. He caught the mosquito, he caught the flea. He caught the minnow, but he didn't catch me. You can go back, and you can see that you can clap your hands or tap your toes as I'm reading this, almost like it's a song. Now, what you will notice is that the rhyming pattern is a little bit different in the little turtle than it is in Be Glad Your Nose is on Your Face. Instead of every line rhyming with another line, every other line rhymes. Our first line does not end with a rhyming word, but our second line does. Then our third line does not end with a rhyming word, but our fourth line rhymes back to our second. So that would be a rhyming pattern with every other line. When you write your poem, you can do it whatever way you want. You can either have every line rhyme, or you can have every other line rhyme. The only thing you need to make sure you do is you need to make sure it is 20 seconds long. Also, you do not need to write about washing your hands. The topic of your poem can be anything you want. These were two silly poems about two very different things. Noses being on different parts of your body, and a little turtle. You can be creative and use whatever topic you'd like. Just make sure it's 20 seconds long, and it has rhythm and rhyme along with lines and stanzas. Good luck, and I can't wait to hear from all of you great poets. See you later.